In this video, we're going to take a look at a Shop Goodwill lot that I won, and we're going to see what I can make on it when I flip it on eBay. Stay tuned. So whether you're just starting out reselling or you've been reselling for a little while, another place that you can go to find some good inventory is Shop Goodwill. You might pay up on some of your items, but you can often get really good deals. So I bought this lot of Cameos for $20. That was including the shipping. It was like $11, and then with the shipping, it ended up being a little over $20. And I want to see how much I can make on it when I flip it on eBay. So first we're going to take a look at the Cameos and see if I bought things that were high quality or things that were worth money. And we're going to figure out how much each item was, and when that averages out, how much I'm going to be able to make on this $20 investment. Before we get started, go down there and hit the thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know, have you ever bought anything off of Shop Goodwill before? If so, what did you get, and were you able to make a good profit on it? So whether you've been reselling for a little while or you're just getting started, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos about how to resell on eBay and Etsy. So this is the way that Shop Goodwill sent these Cameos to me in this little foam bag. They were all in a little bag like this. So let's take a look at the different items that I got. So as you can see, as I'm laying them out, that some of them are reproduction in like resin type Cameos, and others of them are shell Cameos. And I knew that when I picked them up, when I bid on them on the online auction, that there were a couple that were real and there were a couple that were not. But I felt like, it was a pretty good price. So I went ahead and bid on them. So we'll take a closer look at them. So as you can see here, we've got two of the same Avon black necklaces. We've got an earrings and necklace set that are unmarked. We've also got these little cheapy kind of resin ones. Two shell Cameos, and then another pair of earrings that ended up being, they're not marked Avon, but when I was doing my research, they did turn out to be Avon. So let's take a look at them one at a time, and then we'll take a look at what they're selling for online and what I ended up listing them for. So far, none of them have sold, but I just listed them yesterday, I think. So this is an Avon Cameo. It really is pretty. It's got the little rhinestone crystal necklace, which I like. I think it's a nice feature. And even though it is resin, the Cameo, the lady is really nice. She's really pretty. So this one is a brooch and a pendant, so it can be double duty. You can list it as a pendant brooch. So here's the other one that's very similar to it. And as you can see, one, there's a little bit more condition issues, but one of them even looks more refined as far as the carving goes. So I don't know if it's just a different set. It wasn't made at the same time. The gold coloring's a little bit different too. One's a little bit more yellow than the other. And I can tell a difference between the two of them as far as the one on the, let's see, I'm trying to see on the camera. One of them looks, the one that's not quite as yellowy with the gold, looks a little more refined in the way that it was carved. The one that's got the scuff marks on her face looks a little bit less refined. So it makes me wonder if they did different casts or lots of these, and then maybe the press or the whatever they used to create the face was not as sharp as it was when they started it, They also have very different chains. One of them, they're both gold tone chains, but one of them is just a regular curb type chain, and then the other one has got a nicer kind of rolled chain. And I can't remember the name of this style of chain, but one of the chains is a little bit nicer than the other. So here's my research. I looked up this 1984 Avon Cameo, and I saw some that were up for about $30. Well, this was $29.50. They were not all up for this price. There were some others that were up for less. So here is Etsy, and you can see that there are, these are mine over here. But there was one up for $14. So I went ahead and listed them both for about that $20 mark. So that's what I did on those. Here's one that's up for $22.47. Someone has refurbished her and put a new stone in. Here's another one that's $20. So I felt mine was a good price right in there, $19.99. So that will already, if those sell for that price, that will make my money back on the whole lot. So already I've done okay with this lot that I got from Shop Goodwill. Oh, this is mine that I listed on eBay. So I did cross post them, and I get a lot of questions about that when I cross post. Do I worry about it selling at the same time on both sites? And I can say that hasn't happened. I think maybe once ever something sold on eBay and Etsy in the middle of the night, but in how many years of me doing this? So, and if that happens, generally I'll cancel out the Etsy order, and go ahead and fulfill the eBay order. But it's not something I really worry about because I get notifications on my phone. So as soon as the item sells, I'll hear the ching, and then I can go and take it down off the other site just really quickly. So next up, we've got these Cameo earrings. As I was researching my black Cameos, this one did pop up, so I was able to identify them, which was lucky because they are not marked as Avon. They do have some condition issues, a little bit with her face, but overall they're pretty nice. They're cute little Avon Cameo earrings, and I'll be able to make a little bit of a profit on them. So next was the search for the Avon pink Cameo earrings with the little pearls. And here on this, just a shopping from a Google search, I'm seeing a couple up there. This actually might be mine. No, because I didn't list it on Poshmark. So about $20 is what I'm seeing that up for. And I hadn't listed mine on Poshmark right now. So these are mine. I ended up listing them for $16.99. I felt that was pretty fair. Most of the ones that were up there were right around that same mark. These ones were $15.99. They were a little bit less. I saw others that were up for a little bit more as well. So I felt like the $16.99 was pretty fair. We'll see how that goes. I can always drop the price down. So this is they're up for $20, but these ones don't have the little pearls in them. And then these are also clip-ons, whereas mine are pierced. And then I wanted to make sure that I put this in as a reminder to myself to link an All About Cameos video that I did. So if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about the different styles of cameos, the different ways they're made and what's desirable and ways to age them and date them and that kind of thing, then I've got this video called Vintage Cameo Jewelry that I will link so that you can watch that and learn a little bit more about what to look for in cameos. So next are these little resin plastic black cameos that with the white, lady on them. And one of them, the clip has broken off, which I could glue it back on, but I'd kind of be worried that it would pop off again. So this broken one will go into a lot. And the other one might actually as well, because when I did the research on it, they were not selling for a lot. So it might not be worth my time to list them individually or list it individually. So it'll probably just go into a lot of jewelry that I put together. And then next, the simple black Cameo brooch that one of them was broken. They weren't selling for a whole lot. As you can see, they're just like really, oh, here they are, $7.25. And the way one of them had already broken, the back had already come off, I wasn't really comfortable with going ahead and listing it because the other one might do the same where the back just kind of pops off, and I didn't want to have to risk that. So they'll just end up in a lot, I think. So this next set was a little bit trickier for me. It's this really ornate framed cameo. It is, again, not a real shell cameo. It's resin, but it's really pretty. It's got a nice frame, and I believe it's got a brooch on the back as well, but it's got these yellow and brown rhinestones and the earrings to match it as well. So let me see if I flip it over. Yeah. So there's the back of it. It's really pretty and ornate. I couldn't find one that was like it. So we'll take a look in just a second at what I found and what I think I'm going to list it for. And then this is the one I listed, my large oval, the ornate framed one. Even though it is a resin one, I ended up listing it for $47.99 with the earrings. And I couldn't find another one just like it. So even though it's resin, I really still thought she was cool enough to list for a little bit higher price. Again, I can always drop that price down, but I'd rather wait and see if I could get the higher price for it. And then this is one that I'm not super in love with the pictures that I took at the time because I couldn't get the earrings to stay put. So I might need to hang it and put the earrings in. I've got a a form that I can put it on, so that when I might go in and take one more picture just for the thumbnail to make it look a little bit better, because I'm really not loving that picture, the initial one. But it's okay for now. I'll get another picture in there of it and put it up. So $47.99 for that one. So here's our first shell Cameo, and oh, this poor girl. I mean, it is it's hand carved, but oh gracious. I'm wondering, I mean, at first I wondered about her chin, maybe it was laser cut, but I think laser cut, I don't think it would look this bad. I feel bad for her, honestly. I mean, look at the poor girl's neck. Come on now. Y'all could have just thinned that neck out just a teens, right? And she's got a super pointy chin, which generally, you might look at that and think it might be a laser cut piece with that kind of pointy chin. But the more I looked at it, the more I really thought it was hand carved and by not a master. I mean, obviously somebody who could carve a Cameo better than I could, but oh, that neck, poor thing. And it is 12 karat gold plated, or it's 1/20th 12 karat gold plated or something, but you can see along the edges of the frame that the gold plating has started to rub off. So that affects the price a bit as well, as far as condition and the poor girl's neck. And yeah, so let's take a look at what we can get for her. This is the Cameo that, my chick had the wide neck, poor girl. So these are ones that were 1/20th 12 karat gold filled Cameos. The prices are really all over the place because some of them are nicer quality. Some of them are not as nice. So it really kind of depends when you are looking at the condition of your Cameo and I guess her neck, see how she looks. If her face, and I don't know. I felt bad for her because she wasn't treated right. We'll just put it that way. Some of these are 1/20 12 karat gold filled, but just look at that quality. I mean, it's a nice Cameo. It looks like it's been carved really nicely by somebody who cared. This one was a lot more similar to mine. Had that same kind of pointy chin. The neck was a little nicer than mine, so she had a little more TLC. So here's mine. I ended up listing for $34.99, which I thought was pretty fair. We'll see if somebody will bring her home. Big neck girls need love too. So here's our next Cameo. This is one that is another resin one, and she's a lot more modern. She's got that pointy chin, that pointy nose, and the ponytail is another, giveaway that she's a lot more modern. I still think she's vintage Cameo, even though she's not as old as some of the other ones. But she's got, this brooch has some condition issues as well, with some of the gold plating coming off on some of that filigree. So next, I'm looking at the pink resin Cameo. And I mean, she's a pretty common looking Cameo, the way with the ponytail and all of that. So, and because of the condition issues, I ended up listing it for $16.99. That might be a bit high for this piece, but somebody might come in and really like it. But again, I can always drop that price down. And then here's our next real shell Cameo. And this one, it doesn't have as much pink in the background. It's sort of that creamy white shell all the way through. But it is also another one that's hand carved, and it's got that same gold, plated frame on it with some wear to it. Not as bad as the other one, but it does still have some condition issues. But I liked it. I liked that it was a little different in that it had just like the white or the cream colored shell and not with the pink, And then the other shell Cameo that I got in that lot, I ended up listing for $39.99. Just because I might want to go in and retake her pictures. They look a little dark, a little darker than what I like. But I liked her. She's got a little bit of condition issues. I lightly cleaned her, but I don't want to do anything that's going to damage the piece, and I'm not a master jewelry cleaner. So like I said, I don't want to do anything that might damage it. So I just very lightly cleaned it with a cloth, and there's a little bit still kind of in the grooves, as you can see around her eyes. But I just, say that I lightly cleaned the piece, so whoever gets it can, if they know how to do that, can take a little bit better care of cleaning it. So with the price that I paid for this lot on Shop Goodwill, if I sell one of those $20 Cameos, then that pays for the whole lot. and everything else is just profit on top of that. So let me know if you are planning on checking out Shop Goodwill and making some auction bids for yourself to see if you can win a lot to flip on eBay, because it's another great way to get inventory. I do have 2 more lots that I picked up that are mixed jewelry lots that I'm excited to bring to you and show you what I think I'm going to be able to get for them and hopefully make a profit, because that's the name of the game, right? Making that profit on eBay by flipping things we find at garage sales, estate sales, and auctions for profit. I feel like I just said that. I did. Let me know if you thought it was a good deal for me to buy this lot of cameos on Shop Goodwill, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.